We will get this meeting started. It is January 28th, and this is the board meeting of the Squamish-Lillooet Regional District. I'm grateful that we're here today on the traditional and unceded territory of the Lillooet people. Could I ask that someone please move approval of the agenda with a slight amendment? We are going to bring item 11.1, which is a letter later on in our package. I'm going to ask that that's brought forward and handled in paired with 4.1. So we have our delegation here today, just to give board members an opportunity to consider both at the same time while we've got Crystal here to answer any questions we might have. So with that amended agenda, could I ask someone please moved by Director Pettengill, second by Director Donor. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. And we will skip ahead to 4.1. We've got Crystal Tenbrake here, Executive Director of Squamish Climate Action Network, and she is going to talk to us. You've got 10 minutes? 5 minutes? 10 minutes for presentation, 5 minutes for questions.
I need to declare conflict because this could have the potential to impact my business. So
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Know where you're.
Yep. Where I'm going.
Great. I'll be back. Okay, over to you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's so nice to be here in person and see your faces. Thank you for having me. It's been a while. It's been a whole year. It's probably been our biggest year. So I'm really excited to dive in and just share with you a very brief update. I'm going to skim through some of the small bits, and I want to spend most of our time highlighting some of the big projects that we've been working on. So here we go, a little bit with the agriculture plan. Next slide, please. So we just a quick reminder, we wrapped up the plan in 2019. So this was actually almost our 6th year implementing the plan. In March, we had Agriculture and Agri-Food Minister Lawrence McCauley visit Squamish. It was really nice to have him here along with Patrick Weiler, who brought him here. And we were able to share all kinds of details about our agriculture plan and what type of supports we need from the ministry. In particular, it's always usually funding. And what's really great is I got the card from the person who actually supports grants and funding in the province. So that was really exciting. And so we have sort of a direct line instead of trying to navigate the website and things like that. We had fruitful conversations. Some of you in the room were there to visit as well. We had some other representatives from the District of Squamish. We discussed a lot about all kinds of things, issues, what we need, and a little bit about, he was really actually excited about the school farm and the tie into the curriculum through the farm studies class. So that was new for him, a new concept for him, and he was quite excited. We also discussed some of the barriers that currently exist with GAP certification and small and medium scale farmers, in particular, those that might be organic. Yeah. Next slide, please. In 2025, additional accomplishments include one successful land match that ended up happening in the District of Squamish area, but we had 3 meetings with different landowners in the Squamish Valley. And so we're hopeful for possibly a match or 2 for 2026. We've also had a few meetings with farmers. Claire and Sarah McJanet is online joining us today, and the 3 of us presented at UBCM. We presented a 40-minute session from policy to plate about local food leadership. I know some of you were there in the room. Thank you for the support. And if you're curious about that presentation, I'm happy to share it with you. We had some really great conversations afterwards, and it was really a highlight and a reflection and a sharing about how do you take food systems work from policy to planning to implementation, and what does it look like when everybody's working together, nonprofits and multiple local governments. So it was really fun. We were able to tour the Cowichan Co-op, which is a food hub. That was super fun to be able to check out their operation, really hear what's working and what's not working. And we also went to the mustard seed facility and saw the South Island Food Hub, and mostly the commercial kitchen, which is serving about 1,000 meals a day for the school meal program operated by an organization called Flourish. Needless to say, it was quite impressive and it smelled amazing. Next slide, please. The school farm had a really successful year again this year. We had some really pesty pests this year that unfortunately had some crop failures as well with our carrots, which was always interesting, and lots of an opportunity for students to learn and for us to learn the more integrated approach with pest management. And the big highlight I'd like to share is that we were able to secure a contract with Vancouver Coastal Health to, they have their own internal food service, and they can now purchase from us food from the farm and from other farmers through us from the region. And they serve about 300 meals a day between hospice, the hospital, and the Hilltop facility. So that's been really exciting. It's been really interesting to learn about the needs of their community and how we can grow specific crops that cater to what their needs are. In particular, instead of flavoring with salt, you can flavor with herbs. So we're growing a lot of herbs for them right now. Yeah. Next slide, please. I'd like to first acknowledge the District of Squamish gave us some additional support through a partnership agreement over a 4-year period. And this was the big project for this year, was implementing getting an underutilized kitchen activated, which is in their 55 facility, their Activity 55 facility. There's 1,000 square foot kitchen in there. And we were actually intending to launch it with agri-food businesses. And we started talking to the School District 48, and we did a pivot for now. And we're excited to work with agri-food businesses later on, but we're now feeding 400 to 500 kids a day out of that facility, as well as catering services to the seniors and other user groups that are in that space. It's been incredible. It is very much a small and mighty operation. We are going to be having an open house soon, and so I invite you to come to that at the end of February. This also, it's just been incredible to get this launched and improve the facility. We're starting to have conversations with agri-food producers now who are going to use the facility after hours. So we don't need it after 3, and we don't need it during school holidays. So we're looking and discussing that. So that kitchen is going to be really busy from like 7 a.m. till maybe 10 p.m. or even later. The food, we purchase about $1,000 a day of food, and 72% of that food that we purchase is actually coming from BC producers and growers. So we've been tracking our BC sourcing as well. Next slide, please. So after, 6 years of discussing a food hub, I am so excited to be able to share with you that we are finally implementing what we are calling the Harvest Hub, is its official name. This is an incredible storage facility at the heart of downtown Squamish. And it's on Loggers Lane, kind of between where the farmers market is and Nesters by the railway tracks, in a large parking lot. And we are, this is essentially a facility that features cold, dry, and freezer storage. It allows for flexibility of scheduling for farmers to access it as a drop-off location. So how it works is, well, first off, the 40-foot, the larger side is cold storage. So it's one giant cold storage with a huge refrigeration unit on it. And then the 20-foot storage is a dry storage with freezer space inside and dry storage. So if somebody purchases from, say, Spray Creek Ranch or another farm, they might be selling eggs, frozen meat, and honey. They can then book the areas that they need for all their products to be sold, and then a customer can come and pick it up. It's a self-automated building. So as a customer, you just get a code and you'll go in and with instructions, go pick up your order from room 1 and room 2, sort of thing. We're taking a bit of a risk. We're kind of trying to be brave penguins, someone's got to jump in the water first. And that kind of feels like us a bit right now. This is a pilot program. We've got 12 farmers or agri-food producers on standby, ready to become tenants. So we're really excited about that. That exceeded our expectations for year 1. And we have many people who are very interested and curious, like what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a bit of a build it and they will come. Next slide, please. So this is a little bit, it kind of shows you a little bit about our current operations right now. And it's been really exciting. We've had over 20 volunteers come out and help us do some grueling, backbreaking work. And while this project really supports agri-food businesses and farmers, it really feels like a community project. Like people are showing up and they are so excited about this project. It's really going to have, I think, a really big, it's got a large footprint downtown Squamish. And I think it's going to be really convenient. People can walk and bike and park, drive there. Yeah, we're really excited to have a soft launch we're hoping to open the doors slowly in March, maybe April, and then official opening will be in May, pending a few funding things. Next slide, please. I'm almost done. This was a slide that Sarah Janet created for our UBCM presentation. And I wanted to it just really shows sort of the collaborative effort and the sort of journey that we've been on since 2019 with some like projected revenues. And so that investment on an ongoing basis each year, and our ability to leverage that investment from you folks as well as the district of Squamish, we've really been able to like bring in quite a bit of money, extra money to our community, work on these incredible projects, and also start to bring in some of our own revenue where we don't have to apply for funding. So it's a really incredible model, I believe, that will help us, be sustainable long term. And last slide, just a quick thing. 2025, we had $350,000 in funding. It was our biggest year yet. If you look at the previous numbers from, since 2020, I mean, you can see it's almost doubled compared to our highest year. And a lot of that went to capital and the food hub, both the kitchen as well as the cold storage facility. And then lastly, we have some plans for 2026, and there's an ongoing list of ambitious plans for 2026 as well. So happy to take any questions. Thanks for your time.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Your presentation at UBCM was exceptional.
Oh, thank you so much.
So many great bits of feedback from other attendees that were just so impressed with your whole team. So
It's great. Thanks for that.
any questions? Go ahead, Director Bershon.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations, like this is amazing. And I know you're in touch with the Agriculture and Food Society and just keep talking. I saw that reference to, did you speak to the minister about the GAP certification program?
We did, and he referred to us to speak to Patrick. So,
Okay.
but maybe that's part of a bigger conversation. Someone from Pemberton and Lillooet should be a part of that as well,
Yeah,
because there's more farmers in this region.
got it, thank you.
Yeah.
That's all my question.
Yeah, this one's good.
Any other questions from anyone? Go ahead.
It's just all amazing. I'm really sort of pleased and proud to have been part of at least approving some of the budgets and seeing it all come together in such a great way. Just pure curiosity, the pests that you encountered, is it bugs or rodents or all of the above?
Yeah, it's rodents, it's Squamish rodents, so many rodents. We had carrot fly. Is it carrot fly? Is carrot fly
Yes.
farmers in the room? Yeah, carrot fly. So it destroyed some of our carrots, which is, a fairly high value crop. Yeah, that was just one. There was many. We conveniently had somebody who's a researcher and scientist who's an integrated pest management expert, and he lives down the street and walked by and just casually started offering his free services to help us. So it's been incredible, and our team has also been receiving training as well. And what a great learning opportunity for students. So yeah, they're learning that crops die sometimes.
Wow, it's incredible, the work that you've done in such a small footprint. And it's really inspiring to the whole region.
Yeah, it's a great presentation for sure. The seniors part of it. So how many seniors are you making meals for? And do you sell these meals? Can they pre-order them? Are they frozen?
Are you referring to the Vancouver Coastal Health contract or the school meals out of the kitchen?
Oh, I thought it was seniors.
Yes.
In there too.
Yeah, so we are doing catering for seniors. So
Right.
right now it's like daily catering. So there's soups and there's baked goods, and there was, nothing but coffee there before. So we've been able to bring some value. Apparently, the staff have noticed there's been an increase. Of course, you provide food and there's an increase of people. So, so there's been some of that, but we do have some future plans for more better service, improved services. And we're actually looking at purchasing a new freezer to be able to do frozen meals to go for seniors or for anyone in the building, and they can just tap their debit card
And
and,
you would sell these?
yeah, we would sell them. Yeah, yeah.
Good, because that is really a hard market to come by when you're a senior. You know, there's very few people that do that. There's very few that, and I've tasted one of the soups that we get in Lillooet, and yeah, it needs some definite, like, there's no salt in those ones. You know, it's not alcoholic, but yeah, that's really great because seniors really, it's, you know, when they're in between seniors housing and that assisted living part especially is it's a link that they really could use.
There's a
So that's
seniors
great.
nonprofit that we've been engaging with. In fact, I'm presenting at their AGM as soon as I go home. And we do we're doing a lot of engagement with them. And so they just tell us what they want. They're really good at that.
Great.
Which I appreciate. They know what they like, you know, they know what they want,
Yeah,
and
but-
we're trying to make it happen. And it's also an opportunity for us to bring in some revenue
Right.
for the organization,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we can make the costs very reasonable because the kitchen space is no cost to us, thanks to the district.
That's really helpful. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Amazing presentation. Thanks for all the work in bringing so many of these pieces to life. In terms of the food hub and the funding request, I have two questions. One is, how are you doing outreach to farmers and who can participate? And then I think the ask is for $30,000 for the, I can't remember. I think ask is for the food hub. And what is the total budget of the project? And what would that like what percentage would that contribution be?
Okay, so first off, the farmers we presented at the Pemberton Farmers Institute AGM last year. So that was actually probably our most successful engagement. And then we've been doing follow-up with different farmers that were interested, and we have everyone's contact from who completed the survey, the feasibility survey from a few years ago. So that's how we have sort of the 11, 12 that are really keen, and that's sort of across the region. So there's some folks that come up from like there's a fish company, a frozen fish company, and so they're interested as well. So it's from Vancouver, North Van, you know, to Lillooet, but there's just one in from Vancouver so far. So that's kind of how we've been doing engagement. We've really just been building one-to-one relationships, answering questions, and now we're really diving into the nuts and bolts, getting people to review sort of the tenancy agreements, the customer agreements. Does that answer your question? Okay. And then in terms of the whole entire project, we had budgeted for it was going to be just over $200,000. And then now that, of course, we had a contingency with that, and we were limited with the REDIP funding because we were recommended not to apply for any more than another group has received for a similar project who's also non-Indigenous group. And so we kind of were conservative with that grant and thinking that we could, yeah, I think just like now that we're into the project, there's unforeseen cost. This facility is now an approved food premise because it has eggs and meat, even though the meat is frozen. So we've had to build an additional services trailer that has hot water on demand, water, and also for like gray water, a gray water holding tank. So that was an additional sort of 10 to 50, actually probably closer to $15,000 by the time you count in the trailer. In additional, in the refrigeration unit that we originally intended, we ended up getting doing some sort of more research into it. And it turned out this other refrigeration unit that was double the price was way better because we got a 10-year warranty, and it was an investment for like the next 30 years, but that's a $30,000 investment. So that specifically is where this additional funding will go towards. Anything left over outside of capital funding or support will go towards the operations of the first year, because we know we will not be fully bringing in the amount of revenue for the operating costs for year one, but of course we're hoping to for year two, and then we won't need any more funding for the operations. Yeah, it's a cost recovery model. It's not a social enterprise. It's cost recovery, making sure farmers keep their money.
Thank you for that clarity.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions? So I think, thank you very much for answering all of those. Our request today is 11.1, and this is the $40,000, which is an annual contribution from PILT and from Area D and the District of Squamish combined. And that has been ongoing for many years. And then the one-time cost recovery on the refrigeration unit of $30,000, also to be drawn from the same PILT fund. And if anyone would like to make that motion, can I just confirm? Sure.
Before we make the motion, and I think I read the budget accurately, but there is enough money in the PILT fund to be able to fund that $30,000 in the 2026 budget, correct?
Yeah.
I see a note from finance.
Yes, I can just provide a quick little update on the available balance. So for 2026, which includes the PILT allocation revenue, there's $323,000 available. So we could fund both the 40,000 and 30,000.
Thank you.
And in the absence of our Area D representative, but with the members from the District of Squamish that also have responsibility to that PILT fund. This is an all board vote. This isn't a weighted vote. But I just wanted to let everybody know that that is something that we've all considered. I've talked with Director Rainbow. He's always supportive of the work that Squamish Can does. And so I'm not concerned that this would be outside of his wishes. And so, but if I'm wrong, that's a risk I take in making that statement on his behalf.
I'll move it.
Thank you. Seconded. Any further comments?
Just briefly, an ongoing thanks for all the work that you do, and that just the presentation to UBCM was phenomenal, but especially that slide that you replicated here in terms of what the ongoing value is of consistent funding to organizations like yours in order to be able to realize some of these benefits in community. It's just been phenomenal. So thank you for both telling the story as well as doing the work on the ground.
Yeah, happy to support this, and just sort of from the, I guess, an observation that kitchen and the 55 activity had been a sort of a challenge, and trying to figure out for a long time how to make it work, what can go in there, and try things with commercial operators. I'm just so pleased to see the amount of time it's being used now, and the impact in terms of farmers and just school programs and seniors and everything. Couldn't have foreseen a better outcome for that space. So it's really great.
Yeah, it exceeded my expectations. Like, I was like, oh, a kitchen. Okay, we got a plan, and it then it went this way.
Speaking in support of the motion, just thank you for all the work that you're doing. I've been, it's been great to see the Harvest Hub sort of progress as I move around, around town. I always go by and you can see it's really taking shape. I think I know you only have so much time to present to us, and as amazing as that was, I also know it's scratching the surface of actually the depth of the impact, and specifically to the 55, the kitchen. I know we were there for the 55 plus sort of Christmas event, and the response from the seniors that were there and really community was really overwhelming. They just loved what you were able to produce from that space, and I think this is really just getting started, as much as it's built on top of all that work that you've shown. And as we enter this next phase, I know that investments like this are clearly, as you've demonstrated, going to be multiplied through the impact of you and your team. So thank you so much for that. And I'm excited to see what's next, and happy to support.
Thank you so much.
And point of clarity is how long this is funding being approved for?
No, clarity is, the motion, is this for the 30? Is this for the 40?
both.
Or is it for both? For both, okay. So it's for the 70,000. And can we add a caveat at that amount that we enter into a contribution agreement? Or preferably because the 40 and the 30 have two different deliverables, we do two motions. Because they're one's one-time funding and
Yep.
They're both one-time funding, it's just as presented in the package.
so having spoken with finance prior, the preference would be contribution agreement in both of these. And because the deliverables are different, it'd be good to have two different contribution agreements.
Sure.
Can we frame it all in one motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone comfortable with what's being said? Okay, I'll call the question. Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Seeing you
We look
again.
forward to having you down for some tours and celebrating.
Did you say February?
There will be an open house, we're date to be confirmed for the kitchen operation, so stay tuned for an invite, and then we'll do an open house again for the Harvest Hub at some point when the sun's out.
Amazing.
And soup's almost always on.
Amazing.
Thanks, everyone.
But no carrot soup.
Well, carrots who didn't lose their carrots.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's now consider a motion that we close this board meeting. Heard second by Director Stoner. All in favor, any opposed, motion carries.